Roll call.
Moultrie,
Here.
Williams, Richardson,
Here?
Kimry,
Yes, ma'am.
Glass.
All right, we're gonna have invocation by Councilman Ken Kimmerer, then we're gonna have pledge of allegiance.
You want to stand? Lord, as humble servants, we come thankful for the blessings that you have bestowed upon us for the past year. We ask that you would grant us the wisdom to move forward in this next year with things that would please you and glorify thy name. Guide our steps as we take our business to you. Thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first thing on the agenda, we have amendments and approval of agenda.
No amendments, staff has no amendments anyway.
And I make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented tonight for the January 3rd meeting.
Second.
All right, call for the vote.
Moultrie,
Yes.
Williams, Richardson,
Yes.
Kimry.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, awards, presentations, and appearances.
None this evening.
Consent.
I make a motion that we approve the consent items.
Second.
Moultrie,
Yes.
Richardson,
Yes.
Kimry.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, did we have any items pulled for discussion?
No, sir, the council did not pull any items, and nor have I seen any speaker forms.
All right. I do know, I ain't gonna put you on the spot, Mr. Ira, but I know you had mentioned if you want to say a little something about the MLK, is that a good time to talk about that now? You wanna?
Is that okay?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, I can read it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Ira.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Same to you.
Hope you had a nice Christmas with the panel. That's another mayor. And to the council committee. We appreciate this privilege to the city manager and all the associate city workers, and to our gentlemen, staff workers, to all the businesses and citizens of Chattahoochee. Once again, we're in our annual Martin Luther King celebration. This is the 20th year since I've been chairing this, and it's been quite a run. And I would like to say thank the council, thank the city of Chattahoochee for their input over the years. And at this point, we're at finalization of it, and I have some information on the back right there. Anyone choose to take one look at it. And coming up, we have a two-day event. Last time we only had one. Of course, that was only one day of activity. This time, we're going back to the breakfast that we usually have at the elementary school. Hopefully, we'll be preparing that for the citizens of Chattahoochee. We have a short intermission of a conversation to honor Mr. King and his legacy. And that Sunday, which will be prior to the observation day, which will be on the 15th anniversary, we'll have a act of gospel fellowship, starting at the friendship on Martin Luther King Boulevard until 3 o'clock. Of course, information, and there'll be social media, of course, more information we put out for the social media as well as the television. I call it media, and get information on there. And I usually put it out there as well. And if there's any questions, feel free to question Chaplain or Mr. Senator. I'm trying to facilitate everything, get everything together. And most people in here didn't know my occupation so much. Some other days that I play guitar for a living. No, I did not. That's a gift. My occupation was physical therapy. And how many of y'all have had to visit a physical therapy service? How many? Raise by hand, let me see your hand. How many have had to go see physical therapy? Well, first of all, you know there's assessment. Am I right? There's a requisition, and most of the time comes to a physician, right?
Correct.
You just, I don't put my hands on you until it goes through that process. You get that? There's a process to it, okay? There's a requisition form that comes to me, and I look over it, and I look at the injury, and we assess it, you know, speech therapist, actually specialist, along with facilitator, outpatient out of Tallahassee, working at Western Hospital. That's how I fed my family, not get tired. Most people ask me what I do for work. Well, it's physical therapy for 41 years, actually. But the thing that I'm saying is that we're having things here on a sheet of paper, only a requisition, a plan. Then we come down with a plan of treatment, am I right? That's the next step that we go. Plan of treatment from you, brother. If you have an injury, we get a plan of treatment from your complaint. Okay? But still, we don't start putting our hands on it. We give a week of assessment, then we have you come. And then we look over the situation, and you do know, on recognition, possibly things will change from a treatment plan. From any physical aspect, we will have to do some tweaking. And then, watch the progress. My job was very, much more complex than you would believe. But I'm just saying that to say that hopefully this is our plan coming up next week, which will be on that agenda. And we have 2 more meetings, which will be this Thursday and next Thursday. And I'm inviting every one of you, if you choose to, everybody, that means everyone can be a participant as well as your voice and contribute from our city. I wanna make that perfectly clear. Everybody, that is citizens, you're welcome to come out and speak to us and actually give support. And if there's any questions, we could ask for the, I'm gonna sit down, you don't wanna get too much. God bless you all, and have a wonderful day, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Howard. All right. Public hearings,
Mr. Mayor, no public hearings tonight.
general business.
Staff has no general business tonight as well.
All right, we'll hear a little something from you then.
All right, just a couple of items. One of them I made a note of, I stole my parade here. I had to remind everybody about the MLK parade, and, you know, the city, always helps with that, so that, you know, with staff and resources, and we continue to do that. I'm sure it would be a wonderful, so, and I'm glad to get back to the breakfast.
Yeah, good.
The Southside bathrooms, as you know, we had the incident down there with the fire and everything. The insurance company has finished the plans, and they chose to do the replacement. It's not, we're not getting reimbursed like with a check, and we'll have to deal with the design and the bidding. They're taking care of all that in construction, so that'll be happening in the very near future. We'll have brand new bathrooms down there. We won't have to pay anything.
Do you have to sign off on that before do we have to have do they have to meet your approval with the design or the finished product?
They did send, not in a formal way, but they did send the plans for us to kind of bless them.
Okay,
And, we're gonna put stainless steel fixtures, things that won't break,
yeah,
or nothing that will be flammable. But I think the stainless steel fixtures will be a big help for, hopefully.
okay,
And of course, we'll be doing a lot of work down there in the near future.
yeah.
And the last item, we were approached by the, as you know, there's been some change with the senior citizen organization in Quincy. And the county has decided to bid on the services that are done through the area agency on aging for the home health care and different things. Really, the only involvement with us is the few Meals on Wheels clients, and then, our group of seniors that have been meeting down there in the old health department. Well, the county has decided to fund and start an organization, a foundation, they call it, Gadsden Senior Citizens Foundation. And nothing's final yet, but they are saying they're going to fund $100,000 to seed money. And, You know, we've been wanting to expand the services in Chattahoochee anyway, and we have plans to do that with the Southside project. But they had asked about, if they're gonna put a bunch of money in senior services, if it was a bigger place. You know, they own that building we're in, but the space is limited. And the Boys and Girls, the building, the old library, the Boys and Girls Club, had an agreement with, came up. So we contacted them. I knew they hadn't been using it, but they have, this council gave them the use of that building. And I contacted them, and, Casey Dennis wrote back, they are now meeting and using the elementary school and have been for some time, and have no further use for the building. If we wanted to make that available, if you're interested in it. Like I said, there's nothing to offer a contract right now, but is this council interested in temporarily expanding the senior services, have more space where more seniors could, so they're talking about using the vans that were at the old senior citizen center in Quincy, and this would kind of be the center for this part of the county, this western part of the county. And then they intend to do the same thing in the Havana area, hopefully to serve more seniors, you know, to get more participation. That is the only space we have available now, if the council would be okay with that until Southside project is completed.
So they would move to south side, that would still be part of the usage of the south side renovation.
Yes, sir, that's the reason for the grant that we obtained. And once that project was complete, all senior services would be out of that new building.
Is there any upgrades that would have to be done to the Boys and Girls Club building as far as ADA and compatible and all to help with the senior citizens?
I don't think so. And if there were, it would be funded.
The county would fund that?
Yes, if something comes up to make that building usable, like the thought process is now, I've met with them, is not do the little tinfoil meals, maybe have a cook. And be more interest in home cooked meals, and there's, if you remember in there's the big room to the right, where you could have tables, and, you know, you could feed 25 people. Or even probably 40 people, but for that matter. And again, this may not happen, but it all hinges on if this council has an interest in utilizing that building for, you know, you're probably talking about a year and a half, max.
Well, I can speak for me. I'm interested. Anything gonna help the seniors and get them more accessibility and more things in the community.
And, you know, that is a tight space, I'm sure you're all familiar with it, where they meet now. It's really hard to utilize it for other things, and as you know, we've expanded services now, we have art class, we have different people coming in, doing things with the seniors at their lunch. Next week, the EMS director's coming on one of the days, and I'm doing one of the days to talk about utility bills. And we've already had fire there, during the Christmas holidays. Miss Glass was teaching them tie bows, I mean, just different activities, so when they're down there and have their meal, they get a presentation, you know, 30, 40 minutes, something, or hands-on.
Does the county have any plans for the health department building?
Yes. You know, so talking about putting a medical provider in there.
Okay. Well, I would hate for us not to have a place for the senior citizens, and if we can use the building that the Boys and Girls Clubs are in without any major renovations, and they could use it until we could get the south side, I think that would be building well used, resources well used.
And whether we can grow it or not, we don't know until we try it.
Sure.
I just, the transportation and home cooked meals, that'll grow it.
Yeah.
That'll grow it,
Thank you,
especially
Ron.
if you have vans coming from, you know, Mount Pleasant, bringing more folks than just people right here. I mean, hopefully it will, that's the idea anyway.
Have to start from somewhere.
Yeah. And,
Yeah, we will be better off than we are now, we can't hurt ourselves.
no,
We'll have more room and, more funding. And again, I would have to come back with you with some agreement, but I just needed to know if y'all were interested in us, offering that building to be utilized for senior services on a temporary basis.
I'm good with it.
That
yeah.
I am.
we'll have to bring some formal agreement back that talks about the dollars and the funding and so forth, and I will make arrangements to do that, if the county is still interested. And that's all I have, I'm glad to answer your question.
Where are we at on the south side?
The architect is designing the building right now. They've been over here several times. Matter of fact, they're coming back tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. And, they're doing the plans. We met with them with the engineers in my office before Christmas. I mean, everybody's on board doing the design that will be used for the actual bidding. We, Councilman Williams actually attended that meeting. You know, she meets with the seniors down there every day when they meet. And it was just to bounce any ideas about special space needs or something they would like to see. And she had a couple of good ideas about storage, where they store their activities and games and stuff. They needed something, she said it'd be great if there was a closet designated for that, so we could lock all that stuff up. And, if we'll have the kitchen area, the common area, the health department area. But yeah, it is currently being designed by the architect.
In those designs, they get kinda, are they taking down any walls or doing anything different in it? Are they kinda designing based off of?
The hallway walls had to stay,
Mhm.
but the other ones are all being changed.
Okay.
But that hallway, their support walls of some kind,
Yeah.
they couldn't move them, but the areas for the health department area and storage, that, yeah, those will be moved, they'll all be.
Yeah, they done figured out what most of their asbestos is, I'm sure. Asbestos, can
They
it?
have to, the abatement, the
Yeah.
asbestos abatement guy will.
Yeah, they looked,
take care of all
okay.
that.
In that design, are we including a place that people can rent out for parties and things of that nature?
That big common area
Mhm.
would be the area for that, it's
Okay.
adjacent to a small kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just making sure.
And that's what we met with him on, and then he emailed me today, and if I'm not mistaken, he's coming tomorrow, but he, you know, cause we have the key. And he has to coordinate with us to pick up the key down there in the office, and so, yeah, they're moving along with the design. Once that is approved by the council, then the bid document, you know, it'll go out on the street for bids for construction.
And I know I had mentioned, Robert, with the cameras down there, for the bathroom, it'd be cameras
Yes, sir.
around the building
Yes,
too?
sir. The
Okay.
security camera.
All right. That's everything?
That's all I have.
All right. All right, city attorney?
I have no items.
Okay, all right. Councilman Kimmer?
I don't have anything I have to bring before tonight.
Councilman Richards?
Just say Happy New Year to everybody invited on Facebook. I'm thankful that we made it over into a new year. And I have nothing else.
Happy New Year to everybody. Hope we have a great year coming up. Robert, anything else about the downtown little development thing that we've been trying to do? Any more?
The downtown redevelopment
Yeah.
project?
Mhm.
Yes, we're getting close, finishing up the environmental, where that pocket park, where we gotta tear that building down.
Mhm.
You wouldn't believe the hoops we gotta jump through, we just had a meeting on that too, but all that's left is for them, Dewberry, to finish the design, and then it'll be ready for bid. May have a change coming back to you on that, for some miraculous reason, DOT wants to work with us now. So we may get some of the original things we wanted with the sidewalks
Mhm.
and the bullets and so forth, lighting. We may get some of that paid for by DOT. We should know that in about 30 days.
Okay, all right. And I heard you mention about the county was trying to put a provider down there. Is it something like what we already have, or is it more on the scale of something with the health department, or what are they trying to?
It will be, I'm thinking it'd be something like the Jesse Furlough one in Quincy.
Mhm.
It's not that organization. They told me the name of it, but I don't remember. Should have
Okay.
wrote it down, but it's a full healthcare provider that, you know, will be able to help low-income folks.
Okay.
You know, I think they'll see everybody, the way it was described to me.
All right. Well, we appreciate everybody. That concludes the meeting.
Chief, y'all,